Hello, you guys. How are you all? Adrian, the first comment I saw when I got on here was Alex with this damn too long intro. I'm sorry about that. Hello, you guys. Thank you for being here. You guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I've had a rough day. Like, I just do not feel good. I woke up like yesterday, all evening, I was getting chills and like, that's all. So I wasn't having like any symptoms of sickness or anything. And I was like, why do I keep getting like cold chills? Well, I woke up today, my nose was stopped up, my head was hurting, my chest, like my lungs were hurting. Then I guess I went too long without eating, like just doing other stuff. And I hadn't ate good, but I'd had this Red Bull. So I started getting really shaky. That was right before the live. That's why we're starting like 5 minutes late. Took me a second. I needed to get my stuff together. But I'm here and I wanted to come on. I don't know. I won't have another opportunity today. So that's why we didn't do coffee and crime. And that's why we're doing this time, because this evening my son has he's going to a fair. So I have to go pick him up and it's pretty far away. He's going with his little football buddies. I'm nervous. Not a fan of this kind of stuff. Like, I like my kids with me. So anyway, I'm not going to be available all evening and I wanted to come on here and go over a couple things with you. Actually, we're not going to even have time to go over everything I would like to. But I want to show you. So when yesterday we looked at the live journal, Jenn's online blog, and B Crumbs had asked me, like, Alex, why didn't you read the one about her mom? And I'm like, I read all of them. Like, I didn't see it. We didn't read all of each one, but I don't think they all loaded. So she took a screenshot and sent it to me. I want to read that to you guys, and then we're going to listen to an interview, which the no commentary version is linked in the description. It comes from the channel Gray Hughes Investigates. It's in the description. But I want to listen to Jenn's ex-husband's interview with police. It's very interesting. And there is something, her family comes up. So it's good to put these two together. There's also an interview on that same live that's linked in the description with Maddie's dad, but we're not going to get to that today. We just don't have time. So that's the plan. All right. Hey, Tess Deets. Oh my goodness. Good to see you. Can't wait for a Deets live. Hey, Roberta, Rocco, Adrian. Thank you, Natasha. Hey, Crystal, Tess, Connie, Kelly. Good to see you. 3 a.m. here, and I'm coughing up a lung at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry, Kelly. Glad I'm here. Alicia, Chopper. Chopper. Now that you say that, maybe so, yeah. Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Hey, Teacup. Hey, Christine. Oh, by the way, thank you, Christine, for the super sticker. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank all you guys. I hope those of you that are sick feel better soon, too. Riley, I don't think so, but I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Hey, Amaya, Maria, anybody I missed? Dana, MK, good to see you. Hey, Deadeye Danny. Hey, Alana, Sweet Melissa, Shelly Beans. Oh, you guys, good to see you. Me either. I think everyone has a lot to talk about. Oh, yeah, I mean, I really want to come up, and because I have a lot to talk about, to say as well, but I'm not sure if that's the best idea, because I think I have a pretty unpopular opinion, at least, I don't know, about a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, I'm getting a little frustrated with the state of things in true crime here lately and all that. But anyways, thank you, Christine. I've been watching political stuff all day. I needed this live. My brain was hurting. Well, Joe Biden was on The View today. So I'm going to watch that. They usually upload around 2. I watch media from both sides. Like, that's really important to me. I want to get all opinions. Unpopular opinions make the world go round. Absolutely. That's the truth. Different opinions. It would be boring if we all felt the same. Okay. A little bit, Alana, I don't know. It's just I don't know. We'll talk about it at a later date, I suppose. On Deets, maybe, hopefully. If we do, I'll share it on the community tab. Okay, so let me show you the post from Jenn's live journal that we missed. Hey, Nicole. Sorry it ended early, but I'm glad you're okay. Wait, what did she say? Oh, yeah. We're driving home now. Hurricane Helen. How do you say that, by the way? Helene kicked us out early. What? Huh? That is. I'm sorry. That just made me giggle. All right, let's get into this. I like all opinions as well, as long as they're respectful. Okay, so this was on her live journal, and I don't know why it didn't load for us yesterday, but it's interesting because we've heard a lot about why, we know she was working. That's why she didn't go to Maddie's party. But we've also heard, other things as well when it comes to that. So let me just read you. This was from May 29th, 2009. And let me say it's totally normal as a young woman. Like, I don't know about once you're like grown, but when you're a teenager, like girls and their moms, they do argue a lot. That's just the way it is. Okay. I know I'm probably the most indecisive person you know, but do you really need to tear me down like that? Fuck. I've decided I'm doing this for me, and all you do is spread your negativity about it. I'm on a strict diet because I need to make weight by Tuesday. You know this. So what do? Make fucking steak and tell me how delicious it is. How delicious it is. Don't you want this? Yes, I fucking do. Why the fuck would you shove that shit in my face, bitch? Also, you telling me I'm going to fail doesn't make me feel any better. This is why I moved out in the first place. This is how you are, and I can't stand it. Thanks, Mom, for not being there for me when I need you. What am I talking about, really? I've decided to join the U.S. Navy, and she wants me to fail. Thanks for being number one, Mom. So, hey, Jenna's Gypsy. Hey, you guys coming in late. So melodramatic. It's all across YouTube. The 1A community is also going through it. Other channels are losing subscribers daily. Well, I don't know. I'm just particularly sick of a young man being exploited all to hell and his missing case, because that's what it is. And I mean, I'm not saying every channel that talks about it is doing that, but as regarding Sebastian Rogers, it's pretty unfortunate. And you have these big people like Dog the Bounty Hunter getting involved, and he can't even freaking learn the facts of the case. And then you have stupid ass YouTube channels who pull up that interview and take everything he says as a fact. It's all stupid. I'm over it. That's what I want to talk about with Deets. I've missed Deets lots and lots. Yeah, Jenn Soto wrote this, Chopper. So this was on Jenn Soto's live journal that we went over yesterday. It's just, for some reason, it didn't all load. And after the live, B-Crumbs had asked me, why didn't you read the part from Jen's mom? And I was like, I didn't see it. So I guess, I don't know. It didn't load correctly for me. Hey, neat. He doesn't even know Seth's name. Yeah, I know. Sean. I hear Seth's team is going legal on detractors on YouTube now. What a shit show. That's all I have. You know what? It's a shit show. I'm sorry, but this is a missing child's case, and he's lost in it. I'm so sick of it. What did you say, Natasha? Yeah, I don't watch any channel covering that case anymore unless new updates come out and you, NJ, or Amber cover it. Yeah, I mean, the only time I'm going to talk about it is if there's some new information. You know what I mean? So, all right, so let's switch over. Now we're going to go to Gray Hughes. He uploaded this interview with Madeline's stepdad. Now, if you look at my thumbnail, that is Jenn when she got married. Let me pull this up on another screen. Hold on. I forgot to do this. 1 second, you guys. Let me stop screen share for just 1 second. I'm just trying to get... Where I have both on. Let me see. Hold on. So that's Jenn when she got married. We had read the police report from the man who interviewed her ex-husband, but I want you guys to hear the audio interview. It's really interesting. And, they became a support system for Jenn during all of this. That's just the truth. Okay, so let me see here. Now, again, the full video is in the description. You can watch it there without my commentary. If you don't like when I pause and give my thoughts, then go listen to it without commentary. Who's mullet? Teacup? Shit, he don't know Sebastian's name. I know. It's so unfortunate. And then, like I said, YouTube channels pulling up the interview as if they're going to get something from it. It's just a way to keep talking about it. You know what I mean? They got to find new ways to keep talking about it. Because when they talk about something else, it doesn't get as much attention. That's just the truth. I love the commentary. Thank you, Alana. Well, I tend to go off. I'm gonna I'm gonna try to do better today. Dog. Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm just really let down by the whole situation. Hey, hippie chick. All right. Esther says, all Jenn did was sleep. She didn't work until now. She was a horrible mother. I would never tell my daughter to go to sleep with her stepfather. Get on with it, Danny. Damn. I was watching something the other day, waiting for Alex to pause, and I realized it wasn't her channel. That's funny. All right. Yes, I love that. Okay. Damn it, man. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn on the closed captioning. We will pause along the way. Let's go.
A lot of these people involved. Yeah. All right.
Right now.
A lot of these people involved. Yeah. All right. The date is March 5th, 2024. The time is 2:19 p.m. We are at the Kissimmee Police Department. Reference to case number 2401896. Person present are myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood. And your first name?
Stephen with a V.
And last name?
Young. Young.
All right, before we get started, can you just raise your right hand for me? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge? So help you God.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. I have a feeling you know why you're here.
And let me make it clear, just before we get into this, because I just read you the live journal entry about her mom. In no way do I mean anything negative towards Jenn's mom. I think she really, truly loved Maddie. She threw her the birthday party. She would have kept Maddie. Jenn wanted Stefan to so that she could see her. You know what I mean? So I just want to make that clear. It's just about the dynamics in the relationship and why things have, trying to get to the why of everything that happened. Jenn not going to the party, Maddie not staying with grandma, all these things. And this interview is going to touch on that, but it's also going to touch on Jenn's mental health, which I've told you guys, I think that's a huge factor in this whole situation. Hey, Nadie. All right, let's go.
You're here, why you came to Florida and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's an investigation into a young lady named Madeline, her death. Okay. Throughout the investigation, we spoke with Jennifer, Madeline's mom, and she said that you and her were married at some point. Mm-hmm. You remember when that was?
We were married on March 14th, 2015. I can remember that because it's Pi Day, 3.1415. We divorced, I think, in 2016, maybe 2017. It'd be in Kissimmee Records, though. It was done here in Osceola County.
Okay. Where did you meet her?
Online, OkCupid.
Hey, Lucy.
OkCupid is like a dating site or something like that? Okay.
Site. Yeah, it's like pink and blue and before Tinder and all these apps came out and stuff. Yeah, I met her on OkCupid. Can take out my phone. I took some photos on dates that I could remember.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting, right? Thinking about, I don't know. I think all of this is just knowing more about Jenn and how this could have went down like it did, but he met her on OkCupid. All right. I don't have no problem with online dating. It's just interesting.
Absolutely.
So for you guys to be asking about how long I've known them and stuff and whatnot. I think I met her around summer of 2013. Yeah, we were married March 14th, 2015. And I think we divorced somewhere at the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, somewhere in there. But again, I know it should all be in Osceola Records.
That's fine. And when you guys were married, did you live here,
I think at
or did you?
We lived in the apartment where everything happened.
Okay, so in Venetian Bay.
Yeah, it was her, Maddie.
Wow, the way you said that, right? The apartment where everything happened. I think they met at Disney, though, Alana. If you didn't hear me, I tried to say it without pausing.
My daughter and me.
Okay. Did anybody else live there at the time?
Juan.
Her
dad.
Okay.
I think he still owns that unit, and he lived there in the bottom floor unit. Maddie had a room, my daughter had a room, and me and Jenn had a room upstairs.
What was your and Jennifer's relationship like?
Maddie had a room, his daughter had a room, and they had a room upstairs. Interesting.
It was pretty good for the first couple of years we were together. She started having some mental health issues, which
Like what?
She would just get really depressed, and she would just kind of
Really,
shut down
Rocco?
some days. And so I'd just be on full parent duty, just take care of both kids and do the pickups and everything, and do the dinner. And
Let me hear that again, because I was talking to Rocco. I want to listen to it with you guys, though, her dad's interview. She started having some mental health. Okay.
would just get really depressed. And for the first couple of years we were together, she started having some mental health issues, which
Like what?
she would just get really depressed, and she would just kind of shut down some days. And so I'd just be on full parent duty, just take care of both kids and do the pickups and everything, and do the dinner. And I was in school, I was working full time, and it was exhausting. And it just got to the point where her mental health was just stacking up, and I couldn't be there as much. And I needed to take my daughter out of that environment, and we still co-parented. Like,
oh my God, how sad is that though? Because both kids deserved better, but he couldn't take Maddie out of it. But damn, man.
Maddie to me is, is my other daughter. I was in her life. It was like me and my daughter, like that was my daughter's sister. That's the only close thing she's ever had to a sister. We still have birthday gifts. We talked to her. Like my daughter and her best friend play games with Maddie every month for years online together. And like I talked to Maddie all the time. I'd pop over and talk to her and ask how things were. And I thought she was in good hands. And I know that me and Jenn didn't work out, but to me, she was still a friend. And I still loved and cared about Maddie. And so I tried to be a friend to Stefan too when he came in the picture. Like if he's in Maddie's life, I want to get to know this person. So I try to get to know him some, try to be a friend to him.
Where did you meet him?
I met him through Jenn. I think she said that he had met him through a real estate company that his parents had at the time. I don't remember positions they had there.
Okay.
But she said she's involved with him, and I loved Maddie. So anybody's involved in her life, I wanted to know. And so I tried to get to know him, be a friend to him. We started connecting on like tabletop games and stuff. Like I was into D&D. I think he's introduced me like Star Wars Legion and this Robomech game. So like I try to play some of those with him and stuff. We went and shot guns before. I looked it up. I think we went to Tanarak. It's on the way between here and Tampa. It's a public shooting range down there. But he was just so commercialistic. And
What do you mean?
He just always wanted to buy the next thing. And like when I would invest in a game, like I just want to play the game for a while. Like I've been playing the same.
Commercialistic. Interesting word for that. But, how? He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any money. He's a mooch. He's a scumbag. How the hell does he always buy the next thing? He's very materialistic, I think is another word for that. He's, I don't know. That's just interesting, especially because his parents said they had money coming in hand over fist. They find those 35,000 images on an old hard drive. That was an old thing. All these images of Maddie, we know. I mean, I don't know. It makes no sense to me, but all right, let's keep it going.
Same D&D game with my sister for 2 years. It's the same campaign. Like I like playing the same thing and not reinvesting in new stuff. And he was always the next thing. And we got a little like argument one day. I went to visit them down in Northport, and I essentially called him a sellout for always buying shit, and kind of had a little tantrum, and then we just kind of stopped talking after that.
When do you think that was?
It was before COVID, because I think that if I remember correctly, she moved back up from Northport during COVID. So I think it had to have been right before then when they were down there.
Did they live in a house or
they were in an apartment? We visited them once.
Okay.
But there was an apartment down there that they had in Northport.
Okay.
But yeah, me, my wife, and my daughter all visited them because we're always trying to keep the girls together because they're each other's siblings, you know, like they didn't have any biological siblings of their own. And so whenever we could, we try to keep it together. And I've tried to talk to my daughter to see if she can remember anything.
Just so I'm clear that Jennifer is not the mother of your daughter.
No, she's not the biological mother of my daughter. That's a whole nother story. I'm not sure exactly where she's at. Right. She's been on the run and not paid child support for years.
Okay, that's irrelevant, but freaking sad. Really sad.
That's a whole other thing. But no, I have Jenn, who's been like a mother to my daughter for 11 years now. And then I have my wife, who's incredible. We call ourselves a nice blended family. We've all tried, we're all friends. I mean, now it's, really hard to look at wedding photos and stuff and seeing some of these people in it. And, But sorry, I'm a little venti right now. It's been frustrating, this whole thing, and trying to wrap my head around what happened.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine it would rock your entire world. Especially, this man was like a dad to Maddie at some point. And I don't know. It's just sad. All right.
That's a lot. So
sorry, you can ask me what.
That's okay. That's okay. Take your time. I know this is a tough time for you guys right now. So when you would hang out with Steven around here,
Stefan,
sorry,
no,
Steven, Stefan, that we have a Stefan that works here.
I just need to hear the name difference for myself.
Yeah.
So when you and Stefan used to hang out around here,
He was like, hell no, he ain't a Steven. I'm a Steven. Sorry, but it ain't the same. Oh, my hubby just said I'm nocturnal like a cute animal because of your lives. I don't know whether to be offended. No, because you're a cute animal at least. Did he say the cute part? Oh my gosh. Hey, Claus, I heard that the hurricane has changed direction. I got mandatory evacuation alert today. Oh my God, Trulia. That is so scary. Are you evacuating?
Where were you living at that time?
So we've lived in Williamsburg.
Williamsburg.
Okay, no, I just want to say this isn't Maddie's dad. This is her stepdad. It was Jen's ex-husband. I feel like calling Stefan Steven would make his dumbass mad. Yeah, it probably would. Hey, Wolfie. Well, at least we know Stefan Steven wasn't a fan of that.
John Young Parkway?
Yeah, right behind like SeaWorld area over there. I lived in Anderson, I think when I first met him. That's up in South downtown, Anderson Street.
Okay.
That's when I first met him. He never went over there, but I would come down and visit Joe over there. And unfortunately, I let her sleep over there with Maddie and stuff in the same fucking house. But she would go down there and visit them. And so I think it's when I first started meeting him. I lived in South Orlando. And then
when was that? Do you remember?
What
year?
That was me and Jenn got married in 2015. So that would have been January of 2016 that I think is when I moved into downtown Orlando. And I was there for about just over a year. Yeah. And then moved in with my wife's cousin for a few months, and then we moved to Williamsburg. And then we got a house over here in Kissimmee. Southwind. It's off 192, near Medieval Times.
Okay. Yep.
Those houses back there that are almost an acre-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where we lived. I think police came and talked to me the other day when they're still trying to locate her body. And I think I gave them the wrong dates. I moved in 2020 to Colorado. I moved into that house in 2020, and I moved to Colorado in 2022.
Okay.
But I was really frazzled that the thing on the news has come up with the update, and they had just shown up like the minute that started, and so I'm like trying to watch, they're trying to talk to me, and I got frazzled. So I think I did give incorrect dates on that the other day. But
no
I moved to that house in 2020.
I'd be frazzled too. Can you imagine this happening to probably like literally any kid you know? I just cannot imagine. It's so sad. He's now questioning everyone who is around his daughter. But you know what? We should be. Honestly, that's how I feel. I don't want anybody around my kids unless it's family or really close friends. That's like not like that, Also, that's what I was doing while we're listening. I'm going to be like trying to multitask while we go through this. But I just placed that order, Trulia, on your site for Trulia. But with the hurricane, I don't know. But I'll send, let me see. I'll send some tracking stuff or whatever later after the live. But I just placed it, and I'm so excited. But yeah, we have to question everyone. Exactly. I question family and friends too. Me too, but I'm talking about like my dad, my brother. Like that's the only family I really have around. All of my distant family lives far away. When I got divorced, I was a basket case worried about who might be around my son when he wasn't with me. Oh, I can't imagine. That would be so hard because like when you're with his dad, like you're there all the time, you're in control. And then once you separate, which I've had that too. Like I had a really, oh my gosh, a pretty frustrating like fight in court over custody. And then we were able to work things out outside of court and get along. But like when we first split, it was really rough. And yeah, not a fan of not being in control, what's going on with my kids, who they're around, where they're at, any of that stuff. It's just, and then like, just knowing that you literally can do nothing about it. Oh my God, it's tough. It really is. I mean, to an extent, I guess you can do something about it if something bad's happening, but if not, then you're just kind of sit there waiting, wondering, worrying, that kind of thing.
And then to Colorado in 2022. So correction on.
That's right. So when you lived in all these places,
wow,
was Stefan with Jennifer at that point?
He was, as far as I know, they've been pretty much on for most part of the past 7 years, but a little on and off the past few.
Okay.
As far as I understood,
have you known him to have any kind of mental illnesses or anything like that?
Jen always said that he had depression and anxiety. And sometimes he'd be like short of temper, but she never mentioned that he got violent, because I would ask her, like, does he get violent when he gets angry? Like, that's a whole other thing. Like, somebody can get frustrated, work through it, versus somebody getting violent. And she never said he got violent. I always ask Maddie, like the first few they were like, hey, how is Stefan? Like, is he treating you nice?
How old was she when they got together?
See here, when me and Jen split up, she was 4, so she probably would have been like in early elementary school, like 5 or 6, right around there. I would, yeah.
And you would have these conversations when she's in kindergarten, 1, 2, second grade.
Yeah, so she would have been about 6 then when he came into her life, I think. That sounds about right. So yeah, I was around like first grade and stuff, because I remember I was talking to her like, oh, you're starting school again, like, and then I had to start elementary school and help get wrapped up in that. And it's like, oh, how's school, how's home, how's mom, she doing okay, because I know a lot of times like her and grandma would take care of her some days and whatnot. So just trying to check on Jen kind of through the daughter, just see how her perspective on life is and and whatnot. But
when you guys lived together, how was like the dynamic? I know you said you guys shared a room and Ashlyn had a room.
Yeah, right? Maddie would share a room together. I think they had a bunk bed for a little while and shared a room, and then one.
Oh, okay. I took it as they each had a room, but regardless, at least
became their playroom. They went back and forth. They had separate rooms.
At any point did you guys like share? I know when kids are young, they sleep with their parents and stuff like that. Did that ever happen with?
When I first met Jen, Maddie slept in the bed with Jen.
Okay.
I wasn't comfortable with that at her age. unless it was like a nightmare or something like that, then yeah, of course my daughter can come and join me in bed.
Wow. So nice to hear, an adult like in this situation say that. My God.
Nightmare. But I felt like there's a point that like you need to start letting them sleep on their own and self-soothe at night. So I would always encourage the self-soothe, go to bed on your own. And then after we had divorced, or after we had split up and we're on our own, I found out she was back to her own bed, or back to sharing a bed with Maddie again. And I know that like that's the way that her mom always did it. I know her mom, like Maddie was always sharing a bed with her when she was little and stuff, up until I know at least, beginning of elementary school. I don't know if it ever stopped.
Yeah, but that's different than with a strange man. Like grandma, mom, I'm sorry, but that's different.
After when, but it was grandma. She'd just go and cuddle with her at night, She would do it with Jenn all the time. I didn't do that unless it was like a nightmare or something. I remember one time Jenn was just checked out at night and tired, and she was like, here's the kids, and they both laid in bed with me. But
was that common for her to do?
No. I can count on one hand how many times she was like, I like, they're crying and I need some space tonight, and she'd go to the living room, watch TV, and just be by herself and just be, all right, cool, the kids are with me and we'll be in bed and just hang out.
So it sounds like you and Jenn have communicated frequently since you guys split up because of Maddie.
Pretty often, yeah. I always try and check up on Maddie all the time. Our friendship kind of fizzled out a little bit. We kind of talked a little less here and there as my relationship with my current wife grew. And not because of my wife. Like they're actually great friends. It was actually my mother-in-law that thought it was weird and started getting mad and stuff. So we started.
Wow, interesting. Because we know that Jenn was with him, his wife, and wasn't it the wife's mom during all of this? And they're great friends. It's pretty interesting. Background, like his, background information, whatever.
Started scaling back our friendship for the optics of her family, but
gotcha.
But I would still always check up on Maddie. I talked to her all the time. I was on the phone with her. Like I'd pop over the FaceTime. And
Meg, this is Jenn Soto's ex-husband. And, it gets pretty interesting, especially at the end when they ask, do you think Jenn's involved? And they really press him a little bit for more. And I full disclosure, I haven't even heard it all. I heard like the second half. But yeah, it's Jenn Soto's ex-husband. And his name's Steven. And we actually have talked about him and some of the things that he said in his interviews, because when all those reports were released, the officer's like supplemental report on this interview was in there. So we were able to read just a little bit. You really don't get the real full context of everything until you hear it in full like this, though.
On her, like, hey, how's it going? And how's school?
How was Jenn when you would talk to Jenn on FaceTime or Maddie or anything like that? What was like their demeanor? Was there any point since you left till up to here recently, any kind of demeanor changes between Jennifer or Maddie?
Maddie seemed off for a few years, honestly. And I thought it was just she's going through changes. It's the teenage years coming. It's the puberty. I remember.
I might sound different because I'm trying to throw on my makeup while we listen. So Maddie sound different she was off, for a few years. I guess like at that age, you might think it is just puberty because kids are weird in puberty. You guys got to admit, they just are weird. They get upset over silly stuff. Sometimes they're very emotional, very intense, like, for real.
My daughter going through depressive stage, right at the end of, elementary school. But, that was right at the start of COVID and stuff. So I wasn't sure, like, how much is, like, an equal comparison for a mood change. And to me, like, it seemed normal to, like, my daughter was going through.
Wait, I got to say something. Okay, when we went through and marked all the dates of when this happened to Maddie, we didn't take into account COVID. Remember, I got like Google calendars and marked all the dates. Let me try to go back and find it really quick. We didn't take into account COVID. And wow, that's important. If it would freaking load. Hold on. I know I've got it right here. Pretty close. Because they were mostly in the summer, but there were several that were in the spring as well. And so school wouldn't even be relevant when I need to find out like when, because Florida, the Florida governor wasn't super big on COVID stuff. So I don't even know if they were out of school. Ron DeSantis, he's Republican governor, and he just wasn't a fan of the lockdowns and all that stuff. Okay, here they are. Hold on. All right. So we start with 2019. Oh no. Come on. Is it going to let me flip through? For some reason, it's been acting funny with that. Well, regardless, it doesn't really matter until we get the find out like when they had school and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's interesting. Never even thought about that. So her attitude change and all of that, happens around the time of COVID. Okay.
Massive depression through middle school.
I was going to flip through my calendar, like all the dates that I marked. For some reason, it's not letting me. So I'll just have that. Like if we have a discussion about that at a later date, I'll have it ready and working.
COVID, lots of things going on. So in my head, it was like, okay, she's going through changes. Just keep talking to her. Keep getting the two of them to hang out as much as they can online. We'll get down there, Florida, see each other soon. Let's see if we can fly them up. Just trying to get more of the family aspect together. And I thought it was teenage years.
Gotcha. How long? You said that was going on for a few years, you think?
Yeah. She's kind of felt like different to talk to since like late elementary school. I don't know. Just she seemed different.
Did Jenn seem different at all?
Jen's
most of us.
Jenn doesn't seem different. She's just seemed like she's just always trying to figure out what she needs to do with her psychologist to get by. And it feels like her trying to figure that out with a psychologist is always like an experiment.
That's all she cares about. It's literally like, look, mental health is important, and I don't know. It used to be a thing that wasn't even talked about. People wouldn't even admit it if they had mental health issues. In this day and age, there are kids pretending to have mental health issues to be famous on TikTok or whatever. At the end of the day, it is important. But if that's all you focus on, mental health, medication, that kind of stuff, you're going to be miserable. And it's incredibly toxic way to live. You got to get out there and live a little bit and let that, I don't know. I feel sorry for Maddie that she was stuck in this like mental health. That's all she cares about. I don't know.
And I feel like she's trying to figure out what to do to get herself here and to be functioning with her mental health issues, but with all the back and forth with doctors, at least in my opinion, it's just always a game of, okay, try this. And so sometimes she gets a little more checked out as they're trying different meds. And I don't feel
Did she ever talk to you about her doctors or any kind of different medication?
I know she's been on different medication over the years. I don't know exactly which ones. I know she's tried different things. She's complained about some that have like knocked her out and, make her like super tired.
When did she tell you that?
That she has meds like that? Geez, I've known her for a long time. And she's like gone through a lot of back and forth, with meds. I know I can't pinpoint a specific time period on which one.
Your relationship with her?
No, the mental health stuff started to accumulate more during my relationship with her, and that's when I was trying to get her into more therapy and stuff. The understanding where she was with her mental health took some time with psychologists and therapists to figure out, okay, these are her conditions. This is how we can start figuring out certain meds that may work and some.
Okay. No, I'm not being insensitive to people that have mental health issues. Lily says this this is part of her mental illness. Not everyone is able to do that. I understand that. Believe me, I understand about mental health. Truly, I do. It has touched my life in ways you guys have no idea. I've never even talked about. But people very close to me, and I've had to take over major responsibilities for other people because they are in mental hospitals and jail and things like that because they're not mentally with it. Trust me, I know. And I don't know. I've had my own issues with addiction. I've talked to you guys about that. I still think when it becomes the only thing you focus on, that is toxic. It is. That's just my opinion on it. And it is what it is. I want to be sensitive to people that have mental health issues, but that's my opinion on it. I lost my brother to mental illness. Well, I'm so sorry that happened. I'm really sorry. And I understand that it probably makes it a sensitive subject for you. So I really do apologize. All right, let's keep going.
Capacity, but that was after I had been there. The meds started to get figured out by doctors. It was more therapy when I was still in the house, if that makes sense.
Did she ever talk about Jenn now? Did she ever talk to you about more recently that any medication has changed or anything like that would like offset her? Or some people, when they change their medication,
I know
everything just changes.
The only thing I know that she said about her medication recently is there's a nighttime one that just knocks her out. So she takes that one at night.
When did she tell you that?
It must be when I've been recently talking to her about this over the past few weeks. Like this, or it's happened all week ago. So we saw online on Monday. Yeah.
So she never mentioned that prior to.
Well, I haven't talked about her meds in a while.
Okay.
This is just recently because I was like, all right, so what's going on? Like, where's your head been? Like, how much do you remember right now? Like with your meds?
And what did she tell you happened?
How much do you remember now with your meds?
The day that Maddie went missing.
What? Where's your head been? How much do you remember right now with your meds? Interesting. Nicole, I fully believe she had severe mental issues and thought Stefan was helping her with Maddie. I could see that. I could. And then she's just so focused on that and medications and probably knocked out a lot that she doesn't realize it. And Lily says, thank you. I think her mental illness is real. I also think she's a crappy mother. Well, I had to it took a second for it to hit me what you actually said. And, I have to remember to keep in mind, we're all different with different experiences. And this is very sensitive for some people, and so please forgive me for any attitude or whatever. I'm just saying that regardless if, I don't know, I just don't think it's healthy to focus on that all the time. And if you are so mentally ill that you can't, that's, the only, if you're that mentally ill, I'm not sure that you should have custody. That's just my thoughts. Geodon she was on, that is only used in a hospital setting, that would have knocked anyone out. My mom was BPD, among other serious diagnoses. I know one thing, it's all about breaking the chain of abuse. We got to make it stop somehow. Vent over. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Curious Christine. Now I get trigger warnings. I'm so sorry. Stefan is the type to seek out. Oh, absolutely. People like Jennifer due to her mental health issues. Absolutely. And with a little girl, of course. It needs to be more socially acceptable for severely mentally ill and or addicted parents to give up custody without being seen as failures. West Virginia Mountain Mama, I agree with you 100%. Because you know what? Giving them up is the brave and loving thing to do if you can't do it. If you come to the realization you can't do it, giving them up would be the loving thing to do. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see. I think she's all about Jenn. Giadine is used outside the hospital. My husband was on it. West Virginia Mountain Mama said. Stefan knew what he was doing. Yep. I think she should not have been the sole caretaker of Maddie. I agree. Well, not to get too personal, but I have an extra child in my home due to mental illness. So and trust me, it's been not really the easiest journey, and not that it's been difficult, but it's sad. It's hard to see, and so I just think it's better that somebody else takes care of your kid than you if you're going through these kind of things. That's all. All right, let's continue. Oh, Crystal, congratulations. Okay.
When did you first hear about it?
My wife saw it online. I'm not on social media, but she saw it immediately. And so I start calling, and anybody I know in Florida, I just say, please send it. Anybody. And then I was like, all right, everybody outside of Florida, if you know somebody in Florida, send it. And I was just on blow up, just anybody I can contact to share the information online she was missing.
When the first time you talked to Jen, what did she say?
I talked to Jen. It was either that I think it was the next day. I think it was Tuesday. I was finally able to get a hold of her. And I was trying to talk to her. I was trying to figure what happened. And she had told me, sorry, I'm trying to remember.
That's okay.
She had told me that Maddie was missing and that Stefan had taken her to the school, but he had made a bunch of stupid mistakes and he accidentally deleted his phone. And,
oh, wait. Now I'm going to warn you guys.
He said, and he forgot his phone.
I'm going to really try not to pause a lot, but I want to warn you guys of something. When Jen was wanting to get him a lawyer, Stephen wanted to help at first because he believed that he was being falsely targeted, basically. So keep that in mind while you listen to the rest of this, like about him. He'd done a bunch of stupid things like delete his phone. Okay, let's continue.
And Maddie forgot his phone, which didn't surprise me. My daughter forgets her phone all the time. But like him not having his phone, I felt was shocking because I remember him I always saw him with his phone. He was always unready. He was always typing away at something. Mm-hmm. But Maddie, like that didn't surprise me. Like a teenager forgetting their phone. And
there's no way. Obviously.
And so like I call them idiots. Like, wait, why the fuck would you do that? Like, not even look more guilty. Like, I thought he was innocent. Like, I thought he was somebody that was protecting Maddie. Mm-hmm. I thought that they were both, looking out for her. And now I just don't know what to think anymore, Mm-hmm. But
now, was this talking to Jen over the phone or text message? Or
I think this was a phone call. I had them, but they had called. I finally gotten a hold of her because I wanted to hear her voice to hear her. She sounded like when she said these things.
Now, when you were talking to her over the phone, like you said, you're hearing her voice saying these things.
Mm-hmm.
What she was saying, was that kind of like her normal tone or a different tone, or like, how would you describe it?
It sounded like anxious Jen. Like it sounded like something's wrong, and she couldn't wrap her head around it. Like sometimes she has stick reds, but you can still like tell in her tone sometimes like how she is, and like I could tell she was a little muted, probably from meds she had to take, but I could tell like her anxiety was at 100. If like even with some mutes, like once you know a person, you can kind of tell like some of their tells a little bit, like just like their pace and their talking is like, I don't know, you're still like amped up. And like I could tell she was like that. He was very quiet, very quiet.
So you talked to him as well?
I was on speaker in the car.
Okay.
And he was there at the time, and so like I asked asked him, but he like really didn't say anything. She kept just like,
what did he say?
He was like, yeah, she was there and I feel so guilty and I can't believe that I left my phone. I was like, well, how the fuck would you do that? Like, it's stupid. Like, have your phone, like wherever you go. Like, it's suspicious immediately. Like if you don't have your phone as an adult, like, and he was like, yeah. And then I actually reset it. What the fuck, dude? And that's really all he mentioned. And then Jen like reset the same thing and told me that he had dropped her off, and she thought that she had woken up at like 8:20 in the morning, and then Sailor was barking to go to the bathroom or need to go to the bathroom, so she started to get up. But he said, no, I got it. And he's like, yeah, I was trying to let you rest. And then he went and took the dog out and then came back and said that, oh, don't worry, I'm taking Maddie to school. And then let her keep resting because she was like going through training at a new job. And she was just really tired.
Yeah, we know.
And then she had called him up to come help with taking her to school and helping to get the dog in Maddie's situation. She can balance the new job she just started. Sorry, I'm trying to remember all the pieces she told me and all that conversation, so it's coming out in random order. What else did she say?
But she told you that she was sleeping, and whatever time it was when she heard the dog barking, she was going to get up to take the dog out, but Stefan took the dog out himself.
Yeah, and Stefan took the dog out himself.
Interesting, because at this point, remember, none of this is known to the public. When they're doing this interview, he certainly hasn't seen her interviews and police reports and all the things that we've seen now, which, do line up with what he's saying. Patricia says, here in the UK, one can claim benefits for one's mental health, and some folks deceive to get those benefits. And they are always the ones who make sure that everyone can see they have mental health issues. I don't know where your second one is, but yeah, you know what? It's interesting, Dead-Eye Danny. Okay. It's interesting because that's also the way it is in the United States. I don't know a lot about it, so even trying to speak on it, I probably would give you misinformation, but I do know that there's a certain disability for mental health. I guess it's like I don't know. You in the chat, people would know, but it's a certain kind of disability for people that have mental health issues. So we do have that there, and that's a good point. And we did see her, her journal entry or whatever, which many people say it kind of looks like what you're asked when you're trying to get disability. So, I mean, that could be what's going on. Maybe she was trying to get it. Maybe she really needed it. I don't know. You can get it for being a drug addict? What? Wow. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that seems like a really great idea. SSDI. Most people with mental health issues don't broadcast it every 5 minutes and use it as an excuse all the time. It's very hard to get it. I've known a few people that were on it. One guy I knew, he was the brother of my ex-husband, and he had serious mental health. I mean, he ended up losing his life, not from mental health, from an overdose, and the friends just threw him outside. Some man at West Virginia University found him in his yard frozen. They just threw him out of the car, but he got it, and he got like, I don't know, $600-700 a month. Like, it wasn't really all that much. You couldn't take care of yourself with it, like, with all your bills. It was less than all of my bills every month, that's for sure.
I told her, no, it's got you're tired, don't worry about it. And so she went back to sleep.
Okay. Did she ever mention going the day prior? Maddie had a birthday party.
Yeah.
With grandma.
Yeah.
Okay. Did Jenn tell you why she wasn't there?
I understand it from her that she was just so tired from everything from work.
I'm so tired too.
I'll admit, going to her family functions could be a little bit overload. She has a lot of family.
You know what? I gotta say, I'm so annoyed with that. I am so annoyed with that. How many of us as moms aren't freaking tired? How many of us as moms stay up a little late just so we can get a little bit of quiet time, and then we have to wake up super early for school and clean the house and do laundry and fix food and make sure clothes are ready for school the next day, make sure homework's done, do our own work and what we need to do for our own lives? No, not acceptable. We are all tired as mothers, but we go through it. Let me just continue. Y'all don't need a rant right now.
Okay. They're very loving. They're very loving people. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love her family to death. Like, her mom helped me and my daughter Ash so much over the years, even after me and Jen split. So, like, love them to death. but sometimes they're overload.
Yeah.
And with all our anxiety, sometimes she just can't handle them for a long period of time. So she'll go and do stuff with Maddie, for her birthday. It's happened sometimes. She's gone and done her own thing on a Saturday, and her mom wants to do a big event on a Sunday, and it's just overload for her.
Got it. Okay.
Like she'll still do stuff with Maddie. It's just sometimes she can't handle the full people, and that would be my guess.
So Jen's family can sometimes be a lot, and it's a lot for Jen. Poor little Jen can't handle all those people at once. He knows them. He's close to the family, and sometimes they can be a lot. Well, whatever. You know what? Nobody. How many of you guys go to like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner if it's like with all your family, like a big one, and you're like, oh, great, here we go. Like, I remember my cousin who's now passed away. There was this meme we used to laugh about like several years in a row at Christmas with it was like a Step Brothers meme, and it said something about like punching. I don't know. It was just funny. Like everybody that goes to Christmas dinner, or any kind of family gathering, it's going to be eventful. You know what I mean? Get over it. It's your baby's birthday, her 13th birthday. Like, come on. That's a pretty damn big deal. Okay. MK, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. That is super sweet, and I really appreciate it. And welcome to the new members. Thank you, MK. I'm just so, I don't know. It's just hard to hear like other adults like excuse this stuff. It's like, no, we're all fucking tired if we're moms. We all get stressed out going to big giant family functions. It's like, oh great, what the hell's going to happen this time? Like Uncle so-and-so is going to be fighting cousin Bobby out in the snow or whatever. Okay. Like, I'm sorry. It's just frustrating. Jen makes mentally ill sound like her job. Yeah, momming ain't easy. That's for damn sure. It's not supposed to be. No, it's not. And it's exhausting and it's emotionally tiring and it's a lot. But, we do it because we love our babies, cousin Bobby. Because our babies need us to. We love them. We do it out of love. It's not always about us. That's the thing. You have to stop being selfish sometimes. Okay. Hey, Angie. Rogue Nomad says, cousin Bobby is always up to no good. For real. I'm going to find that little meme because I just sent it. I know it's like in my messages with my cousin, like pretty close to the end of some of the pictures we sent probably, and show you guys.
I haven't asked her specifically like the whole weekend sour, like ask her about why she didn't go, Maybe I could have asked her. I should have asked her. But
was Stefan at the party?
I shouted.
Okay.
Yolanda did not like Stefan.
Yolanda is Jen's mom.
Jen's mom.
Okay.
She didn't
Any
like.
idea why?
I want to know why now. I heard that like once over the years that she was a big fan of him, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just she didn't like a boyfriend, just you need time to warm up to him type of deal, and that was it. And now I'm hearing more and more she did not like him, she didn't trust him, and I want to know why. I want to ask her like, what did you see that I missed? Because I don't want to miss this to another person. Somebody else around my daughter. I want to know what traits you see that I couldn't.
So Maddie makes it back to the house. I'll say condo, townhome, whatever it may be.
Yeah, the unit.
At some point that evening, Sunday evening, Stefan comes home because Jen asked him to come here to help because she's tired because of the new job.
That's why I understand it. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of what the dynamic was? There's sleeping arrangements between Jen, Maddie, or Stefan throughout the years?
I honestly have been trying to figure that out myself. I understood that Maddie slept with Jen, and they had one room for a while. So my guess is they all slept in the same bed for a little while. I don't know when, how long, or any of that. Like that. That's always bothered me. Maddie sleeping not in her own bed, starting elementary school, like that to me is just like something a kid needs to do to self-soothe and grow to be individual and not have to rely on another person always being there. So that's always bothered me. And I've tried asking Jen about that over years and trying to encourage her, and it's just an argument. It's just a case that it's like I'm never going to win. So why am I to keep poking at something?
Did Jen ever mention to you that she would need to get some sleep, so Maddie would either sleep in her room or sleep in somebody else's room or anything like that?
That happened during our relationship, but it wasn't another room. It was just like, can we put the kids at my mom's tonight so we could have a night off?
Gotcha. Okay.
Because she would just need has a time to breathe and need space with the kids. Like, okay, let's see, we can do that, and we try and let them out. But it was different when I was there. Nobody.
So you're telling me that he never heard though, because when he first got with Jen, she slept with Maddie. And you're telling me that he had never heard about Maddie being a wild sleeper and her not getting to rest with her in the bed? So was she not always a wild sleeper? That's interesting, because you would think that when he had talked about him and Jen talking about Maddie sleeping with Jen, that she would have been a wild sleeper then too. I don't know.
Unless it was a nightmare, that was my condition. And if she wanted space, then we would coordinate stuff with her family to go watch.
I don't know what conversations you've had with Ashlyn since this has all happened.
Mm-hmm.
Ashlyn confided into.
I've asked her a lot of questions, not try to be too pointed, but hopefully to get some stuff. Ashley, did he ever try and spend alone time with you, or try and just hang out with you and Maddie alone when Jen wasn't around? Did Maddie ever talk about him, specifically? Did she ever say anything positive or negative? Was there any point in time she wanted to specifically talk about him, in any way? Did you ever see a mood change? And so talking about it, and she was like, yeah, the past couple of years, she's been they almost stopped playing games because Maddie was just destroying her stuff on Minecraft, and it was frustrating my daughter. And she was like, I'm done playing with her. And then I guess a few months ago, she just started playing nice and started playing better. It's I'm trying to think.
So I guess Maddie was, trust me, I deal with this at my house with my son and his cousin who's living with us now. And so in Minecraft, they'll spend forever building this house, and then the other one will go in and knock it down on purpose. So Maddie was doing that to her stepsister, according to him, and had recently quit though.
This with the timeline, I'm trying to remember. I was is this when Jen kicked Stefan out of the house?
When was that?
I'm trying to remember when they separated. I'm trying to figure that date. Was that a few months ago? Is that when Maddie started lightening up and started feeling better and stopped being destructive to everybody around her? And did she start feeling like she could push back on this guy, after being gone for a few months? And then this happened. And remember anything?
In the last couple of months, she just noticed a little bit of a demeanor change.
Yeah. She was playing a little better online, and she was acting a little nicer.
Because he was gone.
And then Maddie communicate.
He texts every day.
Text messages to the phone, Snapchat, IG.
No, my daughter doesn't have Instagram. She has Discord.
What's her name on Discord?
I'd have to look it up. A second. I have service in here.
Hold on.
I'm sure you'll see it.
Okay. She did try to message her after all of this just to see if she was online. I don't want to.
Well, one of the reasons Hayes is from my. I have to download it. Give me a second.
I don't want to put her Discord name out. I hope they redacted it. I think I heard this part, but I guess I did the first time. For me, I don't always catch everything the first time. I'll go back and see that.
Do you know if anybody else communicated with Maddie through Discord, like Jen, Stefan, any of Jen's family or anything like that?
This other boy, Tyler.
Stefan uses Discord?
I'm sure he does. I don't know what it is, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did. I know he used Reddit. Wouldn't surprise me if he had multiple accounts with how often he was on it type deal.
I know very limited stuff about Reddit. So I know Reddit is forums that you can look at stuff or whatever. Any idea like what kind of forums he would be part of?
I only know now because his username's been put online, and I've looked through it. I didn't know beforehand.
What's his username?
Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up for you. Yeah, there's some. He's been on recently on Ask Teens over the past month. I saw.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've had a lot of text messages recently.
That's okay.
Stefan, he noted that Stefan had been on Ask Teens the last month on Discord. He noticed that. Yeah, answering people. One of them was a woman who's like, or a young girl, I'm sorry, a teenage girl who was like, I'm pregnant. Help. I don't know what to do.
At least it's public one. I'm still trying to see if I can have friends find any alternates that he has. Because most consistent Reddit users have at least 2 or 3. At least in my experience. I'm sure you guys use way more than me, so you guys may know a little more about that. But
so if that's his username, you can see what forums he's part of.
You can see the ones he's posted in, just like all the places he's made comments and stuff. He has like 6.5 years of history, it looks like. The past month, like it's all like gaming stuff. You can see the progression over time. Like I saw a picture of him 6 years ago at my house playing tabletop games, like a picture of the board that we were playing on, like adult board games and guns, and then Nerf guns and Tamagotchis and just more childish stuff. You can see the way he talks starts to change online. There's more emojis. His gender starts to become more generic and stuff. It's like you can see like there's a warp in the way he acts online.
Wow.
It's weird, like seeing this change. And then now it's all, and then like the past month you can see like Ask Teens.
Ask Teens, that porn Ask Teens?
No, it's just like teens can ask questions about life. And there's even one. Where is it? Sorry, I don't know if you guys already looked through this or not. Or I'm sure you guys have another team who probably does all the IT stuff, or I don't know. Yeah, there was one that was a girl was asking about being pregnant and what to do, and he responded on it, and it freaked me the fuck out.
Wow. One about being pregnant, and it freaked him out. Interesting. So Laura says, I am behind. I have a lot of the same mental health issues that Jenn has. I would never let my kids out of my sight. I resent the comments about mentally ill people giving up custody. Well, you know, I'm sorry if I offend you. I just think if you are so mentally ill that you cannot take care of your kids, then you should let someone else take care of them. I'm not saying if you're mentally ill and you can take care of your kids, that's a whole different story. I mean, it's not like everyone with this mental illness should give up custody or whatever. No, everybody's different, and some people handle things differently. But if you are so mentally ill that you can't function, or you're hallucinating or whatever, I don't think, that's just my opinion. I think that someone else should take care of your kids. If you are so mentally ill that you can't handle life to the point where you're passing your kids off to grown men and things like that to take care of them, then you might as well let someone else have custody. I don't mean to offend anybody. That's just my opinion. I think if you're, again, mentally ill and you can take care of your kids, that's a whole different story, you know? So, okay, let's continue. We still got a ways to go and not a lot of time. Thank you, guys.
Like this, I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do. I'm responding.
Sorry, I gotta zoom in.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Greatest.
I'll let you read that, Mike. I want to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
When you were with Jenn.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had said back then she wasn't on medication for her mental health. And that was kind of building up.
Yeah, not that I recall her being on meds.
Was Maddie on any medication back then?
No, not that I recall.
No.
I think the only person on meds was my daughter for ADD.
Okay. Do you know if Maddie has ever been on medication?
I don't.
No. Okay. Do you know if she's been diagnosed with anything?
I heard she was previously diagnosed with autism, but I thought I also heard she was retested, and they said she only had autistic traits, but it's not autistic.
Know when that would have been?
Within the past few years. I think Jenn told me when I talked to her earlier this month in February that's when she told me. I think that's when she told me that she wasn't showing, or she only had traits, and she was no longer diagnosed. It was ADD. Oh, I think she had ADD, okay. and she had to take meds for that. Sorry, there's so many kids. I have so many nieces and nephews and cousins, and it's so many kids to keep track of. My call my daughter to see if she remembers, because I know they would talk about medications.
When you guys were together, you don't specifically remember her being on medication?
Not that I recall, other than like when she was sick type meds.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna try to get through the next 10 minutes like kind of fast, because I think it's about 47 minutes it ends. But I want to show you the meme I was talking about that my cousin and I would laugh about. It says, "Going to family Christmas, like, Robert better not get in my face because I'll choke that mother trucker." So I just thought that was funny. Obviously, holidays, get-togethers, family things, those, you're gonna have those issues. It is what it is. But okay. I would send that to her, and sure, she'd send it to me, whatever, and we would laugh, because some of our family dinners and family get-togethers did end up invites. That's just the way it is.
How was your and Maddie's relationship? Was she pretty outgoing with you? Was she more
She was
reserved?
so bubbly. I always describe she was a Sour Patch Kid. She was always a little sour before she was sweet, but you have to get that little bit of sour with her, that little bit of attitude. Like every picture of her you see, like she was a little hip hop. She was just like, it's always a little, she had like this face too. She could stare across her like, what are you doing? Do you have ice cream? I know you have ice cream. Like, she just had this way about her. She like pierce into you and make you question what you're doing for a second. Like, hold on, what? Okay, I'll share the kid. You're cute, And she was a brilliant kid, and she was smart in many ways, bullheaded and all the rest.
She
You know what? I really love to hear somebody say she's a brilliant.
I wish.
How nice to hear somebody talking about her like that, right? She's a brilliant kid. I don't know. I just appreciate that.
Yeah, when he first came in the picture for the first like couple of years, I remember I asked her all the time, because I lived here in Florida. I was like, hey, how is he? How's Stefan? Like, is he treating you nice? Like, is he good to your mom? Like, just want to check on him. And I can go back if you look at me. But yeah.
You know, she was pretty open with your daughter.
I feel like she was. I thought she was. I was hoping the two of them had each other, so if anything ever happened, then they know they could talk to the other, and then somehow it'd get to one of us parents so we could navigate it. Like, that was my goal, was them to be sisters, to have the other person always confide in that's somewhere else. So, like, hey, they're not in the same shit you're in. They can help you get out if something's wrong. And that's what I always wanted to have. But
now, have you asked your daughter if she's had these type of conversations with Maddie back then?
I've asked my daughter if, like, semi-pointed questions without being too direct on any of this stuff. Just like, like I said before, like, did Stefan ever try and, hang out with you two one-on-one? Did Maddie ever talk about him specifically? But nothing, like, if I had gotten anything, I would have called you guys. Like, I want anybody responsible for this to have the justice served, no matter who it is. I want them to be taken care of.
How would you describe Jennifer and Maddie's relationship?
They were really close. They were really loving. Jen sometimes could be distant depending on where she was at with her mental state, but she was always there for Maddie. Sometimes she would, I don't check out the right word, but she just would be an overload, and she would just ask for money.
So when I listened to this earlier, that really stood out to me. They're very loving, very close, unless Jen unless she was checked out, overloaded, and then she would become distant.
Mom to care of Maddie. But she really did love Maddie and Ash, and really tried to take care of them. At least I thought. I just think she's just had so many mental issues that it caused lapses that caused this. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is a difficult question, but it has to be asked, and it's asked of other people as well. Do you think Jen had anything to do, or do you think she had knowledge of what was happening to Maddie?
I've been trying to ask myself that ever since I found out Stefan was arrested, and I thought that he was, somebody that was there to protect Maddie. And honestly, I think she could have made enough, I don't say stupid decisions, but wrong decisions with timing meds and things like that this kind of stuff could have happened. But I don't think there's any way she would have deliberately known, or if she had known, wouldn't have tried to get her out, of that situation. Like, she has family she can go to. She has friends like me and other places that she knows she can go to another state to escape someone. I felt like if she really felt like she was a danger, she would have gotten out.
You would confide in.
I thought of Vinesh.
Sorry, you guys.
I thought of Vinesh. I was hoping that those two would have a close up relationship, that if something happened to one, they could tell the other. Because everybody needs someone like that.
How is your daughter taking it?
She's been broken. Like, she's just been it's kind of felt like the journey I've been on. It just felt like the first 5 days was just solid crying, and now it's just feeling numb.
This would be really hard to process at her age too.
There's no tears left. It's not that we're not sad. It's just feel empty.
I know when this was all first going down and Stefan got arrested, that you and Jenn had conversations about securing an attorney for him and stuff like
I thought
that.
he was innocent. And I was hoping that, okay, we can get this guy cleared so we can find the right person. And that way it will help everything run smoother. So let's get the ducks in a row. Let's get him. And like, I remember him on the phone. He was like, I'm on my phone. I was like, don't worry about the phone. Like, they have it. It's there. So we can buy you another one. You know, it's not a big deal. What we need to do is let them go through it. Do what they need to do so we know you're clear. And then they can find who this really was. And that's what, because I thought that he was their protector too.
But he was asking for his phone. They say why?
I think he meant something like he wanted to get packages. Like, he was always obsessed with buying shit. Always has buying shit. I didn't quite understand that. Like,
right?
it threw me off, but and I should have questioned it more in that moment when he said it. But I was just in such a frazzle, just like, no, we got to find out who did this. Like, if you're not it, let's get you a lawyer so we can make sure everything is done correctly, and then they can move on to find whoever that is. And then, like, once I found it was him, it was just like, I fucking defended this guy. I thought that he was there for her. Like, I would not have tried to defend this guy if I knew in any way, shape, or form that he was in any way culpable.
At what point did that change for you?
Which
where you went from, hey, they might have the wrong guy, let's get an attorney, to F this guy?
Once I found out that they found all the stuff on his phone. Okay. Once that came out, I'm like, what the like, I was surprised.
How did you hear about? Was it through the media or was it through Jenn?
A combination of they both about came in at the same time. I think Jenn was in question at that time. I wasn't able to talk to her for too much around then. No, I think she had messaged me before I saw it on the media that he was arrested, because she was in shock that she had seen it and was told about it.
Do you think it was genuine? Her being in shock?
I can never read somebody through text.
Isn't that so interesting that that's a question they ask? Because I don't know, I just found it interesting that they're curious of his opinion and if it was genuine.
Yeah, I can try and say I can read an emotion, but it's just text. I was a talker at the time, like in person. It's like, so I need to see people's faces. I need to hear their voice, see their pace to get a better idea. A text is just words on a page. But she just seemed to.
True. Sorry, putting my boots on, y'all. Trying
and she was trying to figure out like what degree should this guy be punished, and I was like, do it, like whatever if he committed a crime and they're asking you to press charges, press the charges, do it.
She was trying to figure out what degree she should put. Remember when she didn't know if she wanted to press charges? She literally called him and was like, I don't know if I should press charges. What? This blew my mind. What? If somebody does that to my kid, I want to press 10 times the charges they'll let me, and then do some other things too. Listen to this.
And she was trying to figure out like what degree should this guy be punished, and I was like, do it, like whatever if he committed a crime and they're asking you to press charges, press the charges, do it. And yes, she had told him before I saw on the news, because she was asking, like, yes, press the charges, do it. Like, don't question yourself right now. He committed a crime. You have to press the charges. You have to please do what they need to do. So yeah, I did find out before the news.
Did Jenn ever tell you about looking for Maddie or anything like that?
I asked Monday and Tuesday numerous times, because I have family in the area and friends in the area. They're all willing to come out and help search. And I kept asking. I was like, I can fly out. When can I come out? And she was saying nothing's organized yet. I tried to talk to family members. They didn't have anything organized yet. And then eventually I saw that, I think it was Orange County requested that nobody be searching the area, because my guess is they want people disturbing areas they want to investigate.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I need to wait. I can't go and help search. And that was, I remember I kept asking the first few days, like, can we come out and search? I had family members going to help search. Like, are there any organized parties that are happening? And yeah, she just seemed in utter shock and couldn't wrap her head around it.
You seem like you lived in Kissimmee for a little bit, or Kissimmee, Orlando area for a little bit. Ever live in St. Cloud or anything like that?
No.
Does Jenn or Stefan have any connections to St. Cloud that you know of?
Unbelievable.
Not that I know of.
No, he
I know you've been gone
doesn't,
for a little bit,
Tricia.
The only thing I know that might be that, because we're trying to look up stuff in the area when they're trying to find the bodies, we found there's a Warhammer store down there. I know he was really into Warhammer. That's a very expensive game. So I don't know if he's familiar with that store. That's the only thing that I can think of. But I don't know personally that he went there. It was just a guess that we were trying to look to see if something was associated with them.
All right.
Did he ever disclose anything to you? Maybe not specifically about Maddie or anything, but being into certain things?
No, I was trying to think too if there's anything about sex we ever talked about or relationships or anything like that. The only thing I ever heard is from other, but that's all like secondhand. I have no validity to it. I can't validate anything. It's just secondhand something I heard. So,
And you heard this when?
Recently.
Like when this is going on, or prior to?
Like when this is going on. I've heard this from people. I didn't know this beforehand. This is all, yeah.
When was the last time you talked to Jenn?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I think I texted her earlier today. Just check on her.
In
Like,
what context?
just checking on her, see how they're doing. I still feel like her family is really close to me. Like her dad, Juan, and Yolanda have done. We split up and divorced. So like I'm still trying to go to help Juan out to get his apartment settled. I'm trying to be there for Yolanda if she needs anything. I do worry about Jenn, her mental health, and if she had nothing to do with this, then I would be there for her. If she has something to do with this, then take care of her. Like, do what you need to do. Like, I'm not here to defend somebody who's guilty.
Take care of her. Do what you need to do.
Anybody that hurt Maddie in any capacity, I want you to please do your job. Like, ask me anything you know.
Do you think Jenn had anything to do with it?
I don't think so. I think she's just gone through a lot, and because of her mental health, it just
her mental health. We know.
That ended up with this.
Do you think Stefan
Thank you,
would take advantage of Jenn because of her mental health? Like, was her mental health diminishing? Well, you said it was kind of diminishing when you guys were together. That's one of the reasons you possibly split. Do you think when Stefan got together with her that she continued to degress or progress with her mental health? Or
seemed to keep degressing. And not a psychologist, I don't know why that happens. I try and look stuff up, but I'm an armchair expert. So it seems like mental health, gets worse in your 30s. Yeah, maybe it's that. But I'm not a psychologist. I have no idea. I'm just a plumber who
so you make a lot of people. Then.
Not yet. Trying to build a company. We're almost breaking even.
How would you describe her emotions on a normal basis?
Jenn or Maddie? Jenn. She kind of seems a little muted most days.
Yeah, over and over.
A lot's happened to her. A lot of things have happened to her.
Jordan.
That's been hard that'd be hard for anybody to live with. And sometimes she gets excited about things, She definitely gets sad about things. She doesn't seem as outward with her emotions. You have to look at her, but you can see inside, sometimes she's torn and she's damaged, but the medications make it so you can't see it. She doesn't show it as much as another person would sometimes, but when you know her, you can see it inside of her. You can see how destroyed she is. You can see how anxious she is. She sometimes looks calm. And it's just one of those things, once you know somebody for so long, you can tell some stuff about them. But
do you think her reactions have been genuine?
I think so. I think she's just really medicating herself right now to get through it, and therefore she's really seeming really numb right now. But yeah, I keep seeing her break down and how sad she's been. And I feel it's legitimate, but I don't know if it's my own personal involvement with Maddie and my love for her that I don't think anybody else of that could have that capability of not loving Maddie. Maybe it's my own naivety, but my heart doesn't tell me that. But again, not a professional.
I know we touched on it a little bit, but have you known any medications that Maddie's on?
Okay, you guys. So I have to go get my kids from school, but here's the plan. This is what I'm going to do. I want to go over Maddie's dad's interview with police, which is the second half of this this video we're watching here. So we're 50 minutes in. The second half is Maddie's dad. I also have what he did with the news. So the next time we meet, we're going to go over his news interview and his police interview. And we'll listen to the last little bit of this, but we've went through the most important parts. I want to say a couple things before I let you go, though. He talks about her regressing more once she was with Stefan. Look at the picture of her on the thumbnail at her wedding, and look at her now. I think that we can see, even if we go back to this picture, look at her here. Look at her here. That wedding or whatever. She's a beautiful woman. I'm not going to, but she doesn't look the same anymore. at all. So, that's interesting. That's just something that I had talked about some with B Crumbs too. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I have to let you guys go. I usually leave at 2:25. As long as I leave by 2:35, I'll be in good shape. Sorry I wasn't watching the chat as much as usual. I was just kind of focusing on giving my thoughts and listening because I was getting ready and stuff, trying to multitask and do all the things we need to do. Because look, as a mom, we got a lot of shit to do and we're tired. But guess what? We do it because not only do we want to have a nice life, but we want to give our kids a nice life. You know what I mean? So we bust our ass and we do what we got to do. And we don't fuss and bitch about it. That's just where I'm at. Anyways, I just appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for coming here and listening. If you don't want to wait for me to listen to the dad's interview and hear the last minute or whatever of this, that's not much. It's just a little bit. The link is in the description. Thank you to Gray Hughes for posting this with no commentary. I appreciate it so much. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for everything. And I'll see you soon. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.